Good evening. This is Tanya Pittman, and today is the 22nd day of July. We've got a lot going on in the House of Representatives, in Senate, and with the White House in regards to the stimulus package, stimulus checks, unemployment, and the coronavirus. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so with the stimulus checks, Mitch McConnell and the Republicans do support another round of monies. The Democrats support another round with monies. The president supports another round of money. So I don't think that we're going to have a difficult time getting stimulus checks approved. I think it's just going to be a matter of who gets it and what threshold and how much, right? So that'll be discussed and that'll be negotiated once they all come together. But it looks like you can count on another stimulus check. Okay. Remember now, the CARES Act, that where the original stimulus check came from, the thresholds were families or individuals who got $75,000 or less, had a household if they made $115,000 or less, and married filing joint if they made $150,000 or less, right? Those were the people who received the stimulus checks. Now, we don't know. This is where the talks come in. What is the threshold? Now, many Republicans want that threshold to be $40,000 or less, okay? Which means that married filing joint would be around $80,000 or less, and then the head of household would be somewhere in between that. Okay, so we don't know what it's going to be yet. We're hoping that it's just the same as it was with the CARES Act. Okay, now another big contention here is the Democrats truly want the essential workers to get a raise. Okay, they're really on this, and the Republicans feel like they don't need a raise. Now, essential workers have been out there putting their life on the line, you guys. They've been out there on the front, where everybody has COVID-19. They're not having an option as to whether or not to be exposed. They are right there in the hospitals, the ambulance drivers, essential workers in the stores to make sure we can eat, and purchase foods. So, the Democrats are saying we need to reward them with a raise. And a significant raise. That's from Nancy Pelosi. And the Republicans just, they're saying no. So I think that they'll come up with something. I don't think it'll be as much as the Nancy Pelosi would like to see. However, I think that in the negotiations, they will be able to work something out along those lines. All right. What I believe is going to happen, because the Republicans are saying they want the package to be at $1 trillion, and the Democrats are saying that they want the package to be at $3 trillion. So let's just say if they negotiate it down to $2 trillion or $2.2 trillion in that area or arena, right? That would open up some monies beyond what they agreed on or what they want, all right, to maybe put into that. Now, when we talk about this package, I should tell you that there is still quite a bit of controversy between the Trump administration and the Republicans. And as I told you, that does not normally happen. Okay, so here's what Trump wants. Trump wants that tax cut. And Grassley is saying, hey, it's better to give that money to the people who are getting stimulus checks. We can either give them a higher stimulus check, or we can give it to more people. In other words, instead of cutting that down to 40,000 from 75,000, let's make that more money, right? So that's one of the contentions between them. Another contention is whether or not, now Trump saying that he wants it set up so that if the states don't force their children to go back to school, then they won't get these federal monies. However, the Republican Party is saying that they don't think that the federal monies should be based on whether or not schools in a state are open or not. That those are decisions that need to be made at state level, not in the with the federal. Okay, federal funds should not. When you think about it, you guys, here's the bottom line: the money that the schools get, that comes from the taxes that we pay from our homes. You know, that money that we pay every year for taxes on our home, part of that money goes to the schools, right? So Trump shouldn't be meddling in this part here at all right? Especially when he's trying to send kids back to school and he himself knows that it's going to get worse before it gets better. And although he says that the risk to children is low, it's less than 1%, the news has been showing us over and over again that younger and younger people are getting the virus now. Now, we heard President Trump say today that he did admit that the people who were getting the virus most recently were younger, but overall he didn't really talk about the children being a part of that. Now, the CDC came out with a warning that children in daycares now, that the numbers are rising in the daycares with COVID-19, and they say that it's not a high risk yet. They're not saying that you should shut down the daycares or anything like that yet, but they do believe that it deserves some attention, and we need to be paying attention to it now and be planning for that, because the number of children testing positive in daycares, that number has gone up. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is the rest of the COVID-19. Basically, we'll talk about what our president said today about COVID-19, and the fact that it's now being, all the reports, all the numbers go straight from the hospitals to the Trump administration. They no longer go to the CDC. Okay, so that's another interesting fact I'll tell you about Dr. Fauci. All right, where was he today? So let's go ahead and let's get started. Okay, just before we talk about coronavirus, can I ask that you all please hit subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. And once you do, hit that bell, the alarm, okay? That lets the YouTube community know that this is the kind of information that you need right now, okay? And please comment down below. If you've heard something that I haven't heard, something that I don't know, please comment down below. Let me know where to look to find that information. Your comments are read and welcome. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Thank you. So on coronavirus today, the president held a briefing updating Americans on where we are with the coronavirus. I must say that, interesting enough, today I felt like he was being honest and genuine about where we are with the coronavirus. I saw, and you could tell that it was obvious he had notes in front of him that he followed closely, but that doesn't matter. I would be following notes too. You often see me looking at notes, but I will say that, I felt like he was honest. He talked about the need to wear masks, and that he himself does wear a mask when he is, around people who haven't tested negative for the virus, and or within that 6 feet boundary. He went on to say that, he wouldn't even mind if the distance was a little bit further. He did say that things could get worse before they get better. Now, that's probably, I tell you, that's the most honest I've seen him be about where we really are. He covered the statistics about where we are. I noticed he didn't talk much about California. He mentioned Texas and Florida, which are both Republican states, but did not talk much about Arizona, which is a Republican state, and didn't talk much about California. It's those 4 states that are fighting a high number of coronavirus cases and are having hospitals that are full. But he did say that hospitals are, at this point in time, doing elective surgeries as well. He was interestingly asked why the doctors that he talks to weren't there. And he named the one doctor, said he's actually right outside, but when he did not address why Dr. Fauci wasn't there. While that was going on, I got a message that dropped down that said that Dr. Fauci actually wasn't invited today. But other than that, it was pretty much the same. The president is, though, recommending the use of masks. That's really good. And I'm trying to think what else did he say that was really important. Mostly it was that I was concerned about the fact that he was taking the coronavirus information directly to the White House now and to his team in regards to what the hospitals are reporting. That was taken away from Dr. Fauci and the Center for Disease Control. So I was happy to see that he stayed along the lines of being honest about what's going on. That was a real big concern for. As we close for the day, I'll remind you again, please hit that subscribe button, hit the alarm, and give me a great big thumbs up. Always, your comments are welcome. Share with us what you know. Let's get this information out. All right? Thank you.